What's up, guys? This is DizzyPW with MMOHuts here, and we are over actually at the SOE San Diego office. The 12-hour live stream's going on, and we're here to get you some footage of H1Z1, the biggest zombie game of the year. And we've got a member of the team to talk to before we get into that. Can you give us a little introduction of what you do with Sony?
Sure. Yeah, I'm Jimmy Wizenhunt. I am a game designer here on H1Z1. Typically, I'm dealing with the combat and player mechanics side of things. So a lot of what I do is, player movement, how that feels. I'm very much the I don't know the word, like Zen guy, I guess. Like, no, that doesn't feel right. Do it again. Like that sort of thing. So that's me. I bounce around a lot.
Nice. And so how is the movement in this game? Because you're not going with slow zombies, so people need to be able to run a bit. Is player speed kind of matched up with the zombies? What's the detriment for people just flat out running away from them instead of having to face them?
So we've played with a few different systems. I really like the concept of the zombies will burst into speed, so they're not always going to keep up with you, but they can run faster than you. Like, there are times they might have a stamina built in, you'll never see it, but like under the hood, they get within a certain range, or you do something to agitate them that forces them into a very fast run for a short amount of time. So run. Like, there's not, you either need to fight them at that point or hope that you can zigzag your way out of getting hit. And players, they run I think right now about 7.1 meters per second, which is pretty darn fast for a human being, but I think it feels pretty good in game.
How long does it take you to get to that max speed, though?
Oh, it takes you a while. This is that's actually something that I made a couple team members mad with because I started messing with the numbers. It takes 1.8 seconds, I believe, right now to go from any particular state into your sprint. So if you're running at or you're walking or that kind of jog at 3.5, to get to that 7, it takes a while. So you get that ramp up. It feels more like you're part of the character, right? Like you have some weight. It's not like you take off like Usain Bolt or something.
I mean, that realism really adds to the survival element of it, too. You walk around a corner and there's a zombie there. You can't just turn into Sonic and take off.
Right.
But let's talk about what are some of those things you can do that will activate these zombies, that will tick them off to actually chase after you.
Right now, it's only set to distance. So once you make the decision to engage, I like consequence to action. Once again, I am the hardcore guy. Like, I enjoy that sort of gameplay. And it adds a fear element for the new players because you have to make a decision. It's not always the right one. And if you make the decision to engage and then you're like, oh, wait, no, and second guess yourself and you try to run, sorry, man, you got close enough to make it mad. It might be running at you, like sprinting, but it might go super sprint if you get within 3 meters. So there's no escaping it, at least one hit at that point. So make your decisions quickly.
And on that thought, how scary are these zombies? I know you got some more types coming in later, but right now, if you choose to fight one, like, how cautious do you have to be? How perfect does your combat have to be to survive a one-on-one battle with a zombie?
One-on-one right now, you are going to take damage. There is really no way out of that unless you're managed to sneak your way up behind one or shoot it from range. Guns will be hard to come by. Depending on your melee weapon, now that I think about it, actually, if you got a hold of, right now, like a crowbar, and you were just really solid with your movement, and you didn't try to counter-strafe, like you just managed to circle this thing around, you might get a little bit of a bleed on you and some damage, but you're going to survive fine. You start running into 2, it gets tricky. You do collide with them. They can trap you in a corner. You need to be careful. You can push zombies away as well. It will drain on your stamina, so by pushing, you're hindering your ability to sprint further. So it's very, once again, consequence-based. One-on-one, you're going to be okay. You need to heal. 2, 3... run.
And then I was talking to one of your tool creators earlier, and he said that you guys are just now implementing the hit detection into the game. So that works for melee and bullets, and how important is it to actually hit the zombie in the head, or do they have other unknown weaknesses that zombie gamers might not know about?
It's going to be all about the head. I mean, you need to get that headshot off, realistically. The melee will matter, not near as much as it will with a bullet, right? I mean, melee's got a pretty blunt force. It's going to knock them around, might stick them in place. There might be those situations where, once again, you make the decision to engage, you second guess, but you need to hit them with that bat a few times. Get them stunned in place for a second where they're kind of like, and then run. The real big ones are going to come in when you have like an axe, you have a machete, you have a sharp-tipped crowbar or something, you hit it in the head. It's going to be doing quite a bit more damage. Right now, it's tuned to something like 5 shots to the body will put them down, or 1 shot to the head. So get good at some headshots. You need to practice.
All right, well, thanks for your time. We're going to jump in game and give you guys a look at what they've got, and let's do it. All right, guys, I'm inside of H1Z1. I just spent some time running around in the wilderness, getting a feel for the game, chopping down some trees. Turns out if you're in the zombie apocalypse, you get pretty good at chopping down trees in like 3 swings. And yeah, there's your typical, here's the UI I've got up right here. You can see your health and your stamina. Health is pretty self-explanatory. Stamina is how far you can like run, or like we heard from Jimmy earlier, push zombies back, do different actions like that. And then you've got your two other bars, which is just like food and water. And I've been running around in the wilderness for a little while, so I'm coming back to town and getting ready to utilize some of the things I learned in the movie Zombieland. And the first one was cardio, run around. I'm hoping they have some kind of system where you can actually build up and get a little bit stronger if your character lives for a while. We'll see if they have any RPG elements in here. And what is going on down here? Okay, I think that guy just killed a zombie by setting it on fire. I'm gonna stick around with this guy. He seems to have a little bit more gumption than me. I think he can handle the town a little bit better. Rule number 8: get a kick-ass partner. Check. So if we're looking for supplies, I imagine like this guy gets my back. We go in this gas station. We're bound to find something in here. I think in a zombie game, you always want to have your back to the wall. Always look under counters. I saw a movie once where like a zombie was literally hiding underneath the counter and grabbed the guy when he checked over. So just utilize that third-person view whenever you can. You can hit the T button and switch back and forth between the two when you're in these tight, close quarters. I think the first person's a little bit more valuable. And I'm checking these shelves, trying to see if I don't really know what food looks like in this game yet, so I don't know if it lights up or glows or anything. Maybe found something in. Oh, okay. Yeah, you better be sorry, man. So yeah, there's friendly fire. You can kill each other if you want to. Nothing prevents you of that. I don't like the looks of this room. I'm not that hungry. I think I'll let him take a look inside and go crawling on hands and knees to get in that. But this place looks picked clean. For a gas station, there's just nothing left. I mean, there's no zombies left either. It's almost like someone was here before us. Let's head down this way. It looks like a little bit of a department store or something over here. So this is, for those that don't know, Sony's upcoming H1Z1 zombie game built on the same engine that they're doing EverQuest Next Landmark, PlanetSide 2. It's really impressive the range that this one game engine has in terms of what you can do with it. And so they're going to have a lot of building out your own world in this game, as you would expect from the engine that's doing EverQuest Next Landmark. Anyway, not much is happening here. I'm going to cut the film and jump ahead to when something's going on. All right, I'm starting to see some signs of what looks like the primary town out here. I think if I go a little bit further, maybe I can finally find some supplies, or perhaps the guy that's been stealing all of our supplies. My partner is still back there a little bit of the way. He thinks he's going to find something inside this department store, but it didn't look good to me. And it looks like we finally have a zombie on radar. Let's test and see just how apt they are at spotting a potential meal. I'm going to sneak through these woods out here. Maybe I can hide in the shade so he doesn't really catch on to me being here. And I wonder... So as a game designer, I feel like I would put supplies inside of a store that a zombie's standing outside of, just to try to... Oh, he heard me over there. I'm going to assume that there's some kind of noise-driven system in this game, because I was walking through some brush and he came running for me, and now he seems confused that I just walked over here and dodged him without having to fight him. You don't want to be a hero in a zombie apocalypse. No matter how cool you might think it is to walk up and axe a zombie in the head, that's just not the way to go about it. You just want to be sneaky, get in, get out, and always know where your exits are. I'm liking this building. There's a little... Oh! Okay. I almost axed him this time. But there's a little bit of a nice little exit here, so if that zombie follows him in, we don't need to get trapped in a little tiny room. And this fridge actually has supplies. So this is what they look like. Looks like we've got a little can of food here, some water, maybe there's some more stuff. Where's the zombie at? Looks like he's starting to catch on to where we're coming. Let's get out of here. But yeah, we can finally try out some of these things. I wonder if I can share them, or if you just have to like eat it by yourself. It'd be cool if we could kind of split this up between each other. It doesn't look like that's the case. So one item, one use. That's all it is. And I'll just tear open this can with my bare hands. No problem there. So Did he just kill that zombie? I think he just killed that zombie. This is a good guy to have with you. Like, let the guy that you're with be the hero, and you just be the guy that tags along and steals the can of food when he's not looking. I think this is the key to surviving a zombie apocalypse. And down here, I think this is the primary town now. It's looking like some residential areas. I see like a little bit of a market up ahead. Let's see if we can break in here and get some kind of supplies, or maybe that might be a bad idea. We haven't really looked around this area, and I'm sure if walking through a little bit of brush in the forest can draw their attention, banging an axe on metal is probably not the best thing to do. Let's test this feature here. There's a zombie over there. He doesn't seem to see me. Let's walk up and hit this wood here with an axe a couple of times and see if he comes running. Sure enough, here he comes. All right, let's see just how this guy's been taking out so many zombies. He's killed 2 without a scratch on him. And okay, that's not the guy to learn from killing zombies. Let's see if I'm the guy to learn from. I think if you just circle strafe a little bit, they don't seem like they can turn very well. They can't turn very well at all. This zombie is just confused. I got the moves. And yeah, who knew? You can break their spine, hit them in the back with an axe a couple of times. Didn't even need a headshot. All right, so the buddy system is off. My kick-ass partner is down. I don't really have any attachments. That guy hit me in the arm with an axe, so I can't say I'm too sad that he's gone. But now I got no one to watch my back, so I better be extra careful that I'm getting closer into the city. And I know it's alpha, but why does everyone have 1,000,000 stoves in this town? It's like this massive colony of chefs. So I'm trying to figure out what materials I need to look for when I'm in the depths of the town, because I'm sure the zombies aren't going to give me a whole lot of time to figure it out. This looks like the crafting system, and it explains there what it does and what materials you need. I haven't seen most of these materials. You can get basic wood from chopping the trees down, but the rest of this I think you have to either find or craft somehow. I wonder if they have crafting tables in game. I'm going to try and get some of these questions answered as I explore a little bit further. Chain link fences, that's a good thing to have. Zombies, they get destroyed by chain link fences. They can't climb. And that leads me to believe there's probably a lot of them in here. So I'm going to try to find a vehicle and maybe drive out of town to somewhere safer if I can actually get around. One of the rules from Zombieland, is it's a marathon, not a sprint. Unless it's a sprint, then sprint. And this whole part of town right here is zombie central, and it is a sprint. So I don't have time to look back. I'm just going to get through here and see if I can get to the other side of town where it's a little bit safer. Is that guy still following me? Yeah, he's okay. The zombies don't give up too easily in this one. I'm going to keep running. Here's me running third person. I didn't have time to get a vehicle. Don't just jump into a vehicle in a panic. You got to check the back seat first. But as long as I'm following these power lines, I'm sure I'm going to find some more supplies. I want to try and get like a good supply package going, and then maybe get out of town and try to set up camp somewhere if I get a chance to. I know that they're going to be kicking us out of this room pretty shortly. And one thing I can say is they have a really beautiful landscape. Like if you've played DayZ or some of the other zombie games out there, it's really bleak and barren. They don't have much color. It's all dusty. And this one, I don't want to be in this industrial little town. I would rather be living out there in the mountains, pick up a wolf for a pet. But you got to get the supplies first before I'm going to be out there trapping bunnies for my food. I don't think I'm that pro yet. And there's not even anything in the garbage. There has to be someone still alive from the press event that's just one step ahead of me all the time, taking everything. Now that I've got a minute to breathe, let's talk a little bit about the lore in this game. So these zombies, they're not your typical slow-moving zombies, and most of them aren't that stupid, minus the one that I kind of confused and axe in the back. No, these are your running 28 days later type zombies, or the infected as they're more commonly called. And they're pretty wicked. I don't know if there's going to be anything going on about them actually infecting players and whatnot, but it seems like there's some kind of weaponized strain developed on the island of Provaglia. You might want to look it up, but it's a pretty wicked place. There's a Ghost Hunters episode I highly recommend watching on it. Let's get back to what else we learned on the stream. So I'm not sure if you guys had to watch watching this, so I had a chance to actually catch the stream on Tuesday. They streamed for 12 hours and learned a couple of things from it, just sitting over their shoulders waiting to get my hands-on time going. It turns out there's ammunition in this game that you can find, but you can also craft it if you find the right materials. I don't know how detailed they're going to get into like a whole, again, the RPG system of crafting. Is it just you're going to pick it up and be like, hey, everyone that's still alive knows how to craft bullets just off the top of their head? But it seems like they could do some cool things that just make you more attached to your character, so it hurts that much more if you die. That's what I'm hoping for anyway. And I'm in another one of these asymmetrical. On that train of thought, it'd be pretty cool if you could bar off a housing structure that you spent all the time gathering the materials for and like put a little lock on it so that nobody can get in. That would be pretty sweet. The other thing is that they don't have it in game yet. Oh, this is a can of beets. This is another can of beets. I don't know who put cans of beets in filing cabinets, but with how hungry my guy is, I'm not about to be one to judge. You gotta appreciate the little things, right? And now I just gotta find some Twinkies. I'll be good to go. I think I'm about to call it quits. It looks like they're closing down. I'm the only guy in the room that still hasn't been killed off by zombies somehow. And I'm going to try and rush out here and find a place to start a little campfire. Ideally, you would want to start one in the hills, maybe in a little alcove where the fire is not going to attract any attention from wolves or zombies. But close enough to the city where if you needed to run and get some emergency supplies, you could. And I guess the most important thing is you want to be hidden because never know when your guy is crouched down, setting a campfire, and some other player comes up and stabs you in the back and takes all of your precious cans of beets. So I think I've found an ideal little isolated spot over here to set up camp and put a close to the video. I can say I'm the only remaining survivor of our group. Those Zombieland rules pay off after all. Let's take a look at how you actually place things on the ground to get a preview of how you'll be able to build out your entire forts later on. So there we can put our fireplace down, and like you saw before, the light as well as the sound can attract things you don't want to mess with. So I'm going to pull my magic cudgel of flame out of my back pocket here and swing it at here. It's way easier than rubbing sticks together, I can assure you. And alpha logic, I have a fire, I have a camp. I can pull out the wood that I got from cutting down some trees earlier and build some bunny traps, maybe like some kind of fence around me just in case anything tries to ambush me in the night. And there you have it. That's how you survive day one in the H1Z1 infected landscape. I think that's about all I can show you for now. They're about to kick me off, but definitely keep an eye out. Later next month, we're going to get James Blonde in here to give you guys the full details on the crafting system and the vehicles and all the good stuff that I didn't have time to cover. And I personally am very much looking forward to that. This game is still very early in alpha, and a lot of the things they're promising just aren't here to show yet. But once they have a little bit more time to develop this, I think that this is going to be the most intense, awesome zombie game we have ever seen, especially in the free-to-play market. That should do it. DizzyPW signing out.